So hi, welcome to the Noise Podcast. I'm Shane.
I'm Glory.
And we're here with
Michael.
Juliana.
Whiskey, and we are quiet.
And we're asking some questions today about the upcoming single, There's No Escape. So congrats on that, by the way. How do you guys feel about the response to the announcement so far?
Go ahead, Julie.
I just said I'm excited about releasing more new music because it's been a long time coming, and since everything, literally life was put on hold for so long. So just feel really accomplished that we finished this and we're ready to put some new stuff out there.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. Amazing.
Yeah. I'm definitely very excited about this song. I wrote the lyrics on this one quite a few years ago, and I'm just so happy to finally have it out after a long time, and it stood the test of time. So it's cool to see what people are finally going to think of it.
How long have you been sitting on the lyrics for?
Well, I mean, I wrote them in 2018, but the song was beginning recording in 2019, but then the pandemic hit. And it's really the recording process because of COVID delaying it that really made everything sit so much longer.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's fair. All right.
Yeah.
Glad it's finally coming out. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yes.
So is there any meaning behind the single name or cover art?
Yeah, actually. Well, as for the cover art, the funny thing is that it was originally supposed to be for another song that's on an EP that we have coming out. But I didn't really want to have that song be the single, and you guys will find out what that'll be in a couple months from now.
Right.
But I mean, essentially, the song is called There Is No Escape. And if you kind of look at the artwork, it's like almost like a highway to a city just going in a loop. So I guess I kind of like to relate that as like a constant spinning cycle in the head, not being able to get away from whatever misery you're dealing with, trying to get over somebody.
Cool.
All right.
So can you tell us a little about your writing process for this album or single? Shit.
I guess I'll take this one. I mean, really, when it comes to like any type of song, it always starts off with an idea from either one of us. Either I'll come to practice with something, or Mike will have something, or Julie will have something, and then we all just kind of collaborate and work with each other. Just build everything up from there, section by section, just to structure the song. And we always worked it, most cases we always work to get an instrumental well before we start writing lyrics, or even applying lyrics anyways. So that's just really like the usual process where we kind of go. Oh, my light just went out. Great.
They're back. It's okay.
It's back.
It's one of those stupid smart lights and it just didn't update. So anyways, but I mean, I just lost my train of thought because of that shit. Right. So writing process, but I mean, I forgot how we came up with the song. I think Mike, you had it was originally a piano part that you did.
Not exactly.
I remember.
Actually, I remember. So it was 2017, and we weren't even called Quiet yet. We used to go by a different name. So we had like a big headline show and right before Thanksgiving. So it was right before Thanksgiving. Whiskey and I got together, and I had what sort of felt like an emo sort of guitar melody, which is what you hear in the verses. And little by little, we just kept on coming up with sections. But for like the next couple of years, the song saw so much different stages of development. Like there were certain things about the instrumental we weren't feeling, like the drum beat or like maybe even a bass line. But then even like just having it on guitar wasn't enough. But then we put guitar and piano together and we're like, oh, wow, this works better. Okay, we'll go with that.
Yeah, you remember that a lot better than I do, because I barely remember it at this point.
I just remember it starting out as like almost like it reminds you like of a 8-bit electronic idea when we were first using a DAW, and when none of us really had any knowledge about DAWs. So like it was all written like on the computer.
One.
Yeah.
Right. Didn't we have like this crazy, like weird ass, like synth?
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember that.
I feel, and we just like kind of hated it for a little bit, didn't we?
We worked off of that.
We worked with the stock plugins we had in Studio One, and then as we started actually investing in better plugins and knowing how to use them, just writing in general starts to sound better.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Wow. So it went through a lot of different stages, but you finally ended up in this.
It did. Yeah.
Perfect.
I know I'm proud of the song.
As you should be. It bangs.
My mom and dad got me a gift for Christmas. Actually, it's a plaque that looks like a golden record with all the lyrics on it and whatnot.
Oh, fun fact.
How much I liked it. Actually, Julie was behind that, weren't you?
His mom had texted me. She's like, I need to know which one of your songs is Michael's favorite Quiet song, and I'm like, oh crap, I got to ask this without like sounding obvious.
Yeah.
So, but then he told me it was There's No Escape, and like I really understood like why, because like the years of like just working on it and like the evolvement of the song, and each of us becoming better at singing and as lyricists, it was something to be really proud of. So that I was also in on that idea. So surprise.
Yeah, thanks.
That's amazing. That makes me really happy.
Yeah.
So I want you three to tell us your favorite lyric off this track and the meaning behind it.
Ooh, okay.
Oh crap. Let me bring up the words.
You're making me think here. I was not planning to think on a Wednesday night.
That's okay. I want to think.
Yeah. I'll let Mike go first.
I know. I feel like everyone's waiting for me to go first.
You're the one that wrote this song.
No, we're just looking at the words.
And I happen to be sitting with that plaque in front of me, looking at the lyrics.
Yeah, you can just look at it.
Cheating.
I want to see it. I don't know what it looks like.
Yeah. Well, I guess it would have to be a line in the second verse. It goes, look around, who is really on my side? Reputations are really on the line this time. Like pretty much the whole back end of the song is that I like to put a lot of like how technology affects people socially. So the song is about an experience I had after a breakup with someone, and we were around each other a lot musically. So like with social media in general, I feel like we know too much about each other when we should. So that's like why I can't escape from someone unless I block them. But for like the reputation thing, I would start, hearing complaints and drama from other friends of, someone else's side of the story. And it's like, well, wow, has, people's opinion changed of me? Well, what's going on here? So I was worried for a bit. So that's kind of where that came from.
All right.
I was looking at that first too.
Julie, you go next.
Okay, yeah, I was looking at the same verse. Like I guess the one line in verse 2 that stands out to me, I fail to stay out of my own way. Like outside the context of the song, well, like that to me, I can like apply that like line to like myself as a person, trying to being a musician, like different things I've grown with. Like sometimes I cannot get out of my own way. Like I think way too hard, and I try way too hard to make something perfect. So, or I just think too hard and give up before I even try. So like that line really sticks out to me in this song.
Now it's my turn.
Yep.
Shit. Well, I mean, going off of what I memorize, I mean, I would have to say the chorus, but really that's just because I sing it when we do it live. So,
fair enough.
But I mean, looking at the lyrics here, yeah, I would have to say the chorus, obviously, or not obviously, but like for me, obviously. I don't know. It's just like just singing it, and I guess just like the just a general melody and the cadence of it. I don't know. It just, to me, it just feels like right, just like singing it. or singing along while playing it. So, I mean, when it comes to the songs that we do, I mean, for me, I have a little bit of a difficult time just to relate with, well, let me reverse that. Let me backtrack a little bit, because it's not just with the songs that we do, but it's with any type of song that I hear from any artist. Because growing up, like, I'm not huge on lyrics, never really huge on lyrics. Lyrics never really mattered to me. So I have a harder time to just connect with lyrics of a song. But I love instrumentals. As a kid growing up, like, I would just listen to a whole bunch of like instrumental stuff, electronic music, nothing with lyrics. So basically, when I hear Mike and Julie's lyrics, what I like the most about them are when they, you know, they flow with the rest of the instrumentals of the song. And to me, the chorus is probably my favorite part of the song in regards to lyrics and just the general vocals, I suppose. So that's my answer.
Very cool. So where was your headspace at while you guys were writing this track?
Well, our headspace. Well, I mean,
it's everywhere.
I guess it depends, because like we probably spent like 3 different, you know, eras of time writing the song. But I think, I guess the way I would answer that is, there was like a particular favorite or like most exciting part of the writing process. Right before we started bringing it to the studio, our producer Ryan Schumer, he had us, you know, going over and over each single song for the EP, making sure we had every possible take and track for every instrument. But that's when I started really getting super into producing guitars with a lot more effects and just extra layers of stuff. So I remember I was listening to a certain kind of like 90s music with a lot of like chorus affected guitars. And that's when I finally found like the voicing and the tone with certain arpeggios and chorus effects that I liked. So I guess my headspace was very open-minded and just trying to be experimental. And I had a lot of fun in that process.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
I mean, when I was trying to like come up with a bass part for this song, I was just kind of struggling a lot with like the verses, just because I would come up with something. At first I came up with something I think was like too simple. And then I like revised it quite a few times, and then it just ended up being overcomplicated, which I did not like. And for the longest time, I was just having this really huge struggle, just like going back and forth with what the hell I wanted to play on the bass and what I felt would maybe, you know, complement the song best. So for me, it was just like, I was just like kind of in like a very like puzzled sort of a mindset the entire time, because it's just like, for the longest time, everything I was trying was just like, this isn't working, you know? I was like kind of getting a little bit frustrated with myself too. I was like, this is not working. Why can I not make this work? Why do I not like what I'm coming up with? And then it's just like, I ended up just like kind of going back around to like, oh, okay, maybe just keep it a little simple. And then I ended up just coming up with what's on the record. So yeah, I mean, basically the entire time though, writing this song, I was just mad at myself, I guess.
Okay.
That's fair. That's valid.
Yeah. So
for me, like the original like drum part that like I had, I was happy with it. But it just wasn't like, I wasn't just like feeling it really well with the song, and some of the parts like were a little too like overly complicated for me. Like sometimes I try way too hard like to make something more complicated, and sometimes just keeping things simple is the best, because, and you know, just sometimes some of the most famous songs are just very simple and laid back. So and then, you know, getting some ideas from friends, you know, other friends like showing me like, try this on the when you play it, like try this beat, and I'm like, and then I was like, once I heard it, someone else do it, I was like, yeah, you know what, that that might work. And it wasn't until I actually did it that I'm like, yeah, this is the beat for this song.
I remember that moment.
Yeah, it was a light bulb.
Yeah. Perfect. All right. So how do you guys recommend your listeners to listen to this track for the first time? Should they play it in the car with friends, in the dark with headphones on? Should they blast it at the party? What do you guys think?
Oh, interesting question. I mean, my knee-jerk response to that would be however you prefer to listen to your music the most. I mean, I know probably all three of us have our own way specifically, but yeah, I think that music in general is something that one connects with in their way. So whatever they think works for them, they should just go with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was gonna say whatever floats your boat, like what mood you're in. Like personally, I listen every day. Like when I'm on my way to work, even when I come home, I just come into my room and I lie down and I just put, some of my favorite tunes on and chill out. Like literally, like whatever or whenever, like based on whatever you like to do. Like you could, listen to it at any moment because I listen to music basically all day.
Yeah.
All right.
Me too.
All in agreement.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, I don't really have much to add to that. They basically said what I thought. So
this question should be super, super quick. Off the top of your head, I want you to describe the single for new listeners in 3 words. No more, no less. All 3 have to do it.
Oh,
fudge.
So does it have to be like 3 different words, or should it be like a complete sentence?
Just 3 different
whatever
words.
Whatever you want to do, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, crap.
Okay.
You can't think too hard about it. It has to be like super quick.
It's just whatever pops into our head.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, it's gonna be probably really random.
Dark. Nah, I wouldn't say. Nah.
You got 1.
Yeah, that's 1. Out of like 2 more that I need.
Stubborn, stressful, and confused.
Okay.
There you go.
There you go.
See, that's how you do it.
I was gonna say like emotional,
I was gonna say emotional.
deep, as far as like getting into like the subject of it, and serious.
Okay. Very
Perfect.
All right. Dark. Edgy. Sure. Why not?
All right.
Nah. Well, I mean, in terms of like instrumentals, sure. One more. Always one more. Always. I'm not good with words.
It's on the tip of your tongue.
Yeah. Dark, edgy. I want to say secretive in a way.
Okay.
There you go.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Perfect.
There we go.
All right. So is there a certain feeling or emotion you want this track to invoke in your listeners?
Yeah, I guess in a weird way, comfort, because I feel like the theme of the song, like post breakups and dealing with still seeing that person on social media. I guess I just kind of want people to realize that maybe they're not the only ones that have ever dealt with something like this, and I don't think social media is the only form of it anyway. So I feel like there's so many things that one goes through, but they don't even realize how much others do as well. If one person feels one thing, millions or a billion others can too. So yeah, awareness, I guess. It's just not, people don't talk a lot about stuff like that. So yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
Very good. So what band or artist influence do you think you can hear the most on this track, if any?
Ooh, that's actually an easy one for me. I would say Paris, maybe Muse a little, Coldplay.
Okay.
Oh, hell on wheels. Oh, he just named two, like.
But you can agree.
Yeah, they don't have to be different.
Right.
Exactly. It's not like the word question again.
I would say, yeah, like mainly, like, I mean, like at the beginning, like it does have some Muse influence, definitely Paris influence, like as far as I guess like my vocals go. And one more. Like I think it sounds like fudge. I would say now that I really think about it, it actually reminds me of like the current Against the Current music.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Actually, yeah, I could see that. I mean, Paris and Against the Current were two bands we were especially heavily listening to at the time. So
That's right.
Impact, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a hard time with this question just because, like, when it comes to us, I never know what to compare ourselves to. Like, oh, like, I just talk to people like, oh, what kind of music do you do? It's like, I don't fucking know. Like, oh, what do you sound like? I don't fucking know what the hell we sound like. We sound like us. We sound like quiet.
Listen to it.
Sound like music.
Listen to our fucking music. You listening to this recording right now, listen to this fucking music. But yeah, like okay. I just never know what to say to that just because I don't know. And my music taste differs a little bit from Mike and Julie. Muse is definitely like a huge band that all three of us take inspiration from. I mean, we started off as essentially a Muse cover band. Yeah, like, that's how it started off. Like,
kind of right.
Not kind of right. I am right. That's how it started.
Not really, but okay.
We'll probably get to that later, I guess. But like, Muse definitely, I would say. Sure, Paris. I mean, like, for you guys, like, you definitely listen to them a lot. I dig some of their songs. But again, for me, it's just so difficult to say, like, what do I think we sound like? Because again, I just can never really just put like a label unless like, we actually try to go out of our way to sound like someone else. But like, do we want to try that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, in general, I always think of it as like, who did I take the most influence from at the end of the day? That's what I usually go by. I mean, it's funny now, like going back at it, I would almost even think that part of No Escape sounds like new Bring Me the Horizon. I wasn't really listening to that band yet, but now I would say it.
Oh, yeah, actually. Because I started listening to them more recently, and
yeah.
I was also going to say, yeah, sometimes like for me also, like if someone asks like, what kind of music do you do? Like that is sometimes really hard for me to answer that question too. And also like as someone like when I'm playing like influence from, like, I don't really at the time like think about like sounding like someone else. I'm just trying to be me. Like, cause I take influence from like all different genres, like all over the board, because like I have like background in like orchestral jazz and just so many backgrounds. So like when it comes to it, sometimes it's really hard to describe. Like we sound like ourselves.
Fair enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's like trying to like make up a word that describes you perfectly.
That's fair.
I know.
Right. So, what is your favorite memory that you made while creating this track?
Ooh, good question. Oh, wow.
All the times in the studio were fun for me. Like I loved going to the studio all the time to like just even when I personally wasn't at the moment like doing anything, just tracking, like just being there and making like recording the song and the process like that. Just it always fascinates me, and I always have a good time because like sometimes we do fool around, but at the end of the day, like this is what we love to do, and we have to make it fun when we're working.
Yeah,
guys, I recorded the bass before COVID hit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
I barely remember like anything. That was like just a blur at this point.
One
That was
day.
like so long ago. Yeah.
Yeah. I had re-recorded the drums actually because I wasn't really happy with how they sounded previously. So like during when we were actually able to go back during the pandemic, I redid the drums on the track, and I was very happy. I think all three of us could agree that the way this drum sounded this time around was 100% better.
That's
yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I mean, not saying that the originals were bad, but like the new drums were definitely a huge improvement, I'd say.
Yeah, it was just because the first studio we were in just had a room that wasn't ideal for the sound. It felt like a giant ISO booth, but the other studio we went to had a much brighter sounding room overall. But if I had to give you I guess the funnest part of doing this song, so we're from Long Island, east of like New York City. So a few years ago, I used to work in the city. I would commute every day. It was the worst. But one day I was coming home and I think I was listening to Stand Atlantic or something.
Taste.
Banger.
Yeah, great band. And I think Stateside too. They were both in my shuffle. But I come home and I had a very, very bad day at work. And the last chorus, I always want to try to put something in like the final hook of a chorus at the end of the song, to just like, I guess, make it pop and, just have it be like the larger sounding section to end it. So when you listen to the last chorus, I have like a backing vocal behind my lead, and I just came down here and I hooked up my mic and I was pissed off and I just started shredding my voice to death trying to do that backing lead. And I'm like, wow, this actually sounds really awesome. And I'm happy it made the song. And, I didn't really start studying the voice until I was in my early 20s. So I guess that also meant a lot to me, because I guess you could say that was the first time in my life I ever acted like a vocal producer, because I did something a little more than just my leads. So that was cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So picture this, you're on tour, you're at a gas station for a rest stop. What is your snack of choice?
Snack of choice.
Snack of choice.
S'mores Pop-Tarts.
You bastard. S'mores Pop-Tarts, yeah.
Jinx, you owe me a soda, you bitch.
Okay. I don't drink soda, so take it.
Oh man, that's hard. I like my snacks. On the road, okay. Guilty pleasure Slim Jims.
Oh, there you go.
All right.
Yeah, taste.
Yeah.
So for the last couple questions, we're actually going to shift away from music, if that's okay with you guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
6. We're actually going to go straight to death row.
Boom.
So if you're on death row, what would your last meal be with a drink?
Oh hell.
Ooh, wow.
With a drink.
Okay.
Oh, that's so
okay. That's easier for me, but unfortunately the place that made it doesn't exist anymore. A chicken burger with coleslaw and Jack Daniel's honey.
Okay.
2 slices.
What drink?
You're not done.
Sorry.
My bad.
No. What drink?
Oh no, that was the one, Jack Daniel's honey.
Oh, I thought that was like a honey mustard or something. I'm sorry.
No, it wasn't in the burger.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No,
continue.
All right. So for me, it would be 2 slices of barbecue chicken pizza and Jack Daniel's Winter Jack.
All right.
That's it. I love barbecue chicken pizza. It's the best. And Winter Jack, you can't even get that shit like normally. It's like only around during winter time. So delicious.
All right.
Get it now while you can.
Oh yeah.
For me, I'm very fancy. I'd go for my last meal would be a giant ribeye steak.
Okay.
And I'm a French fry head.
Yeah.
And drink.
It would probably be a club soda or carbonated water for you.
Something, it would.
Carbonated water.
Yeah, I live off of that and water, but I do drink soda too. But yeah, I think carbonated water. He nailed it on the coffin.
All right, there you go.
Literally on your way.
So if you could live in one fiction world for a week, where would you live?
One fictional world.
One fictional world.
Oh shoot. Caramba, I never thought of these things before.
I know what that would be for me. I would live on the planet of Kashyyyk in Star Wars.
Right.
Of course you would.
It's a very pretty planet. I love Wookiees. Chewbacca's my all-time favorite character, and I'm super into all the post-film storyline. Kashyyyk never gets destroyed or touched by a bad faction again, so I know that I'd live a life in peace.
That's perfect.
Now, when you say a fictional world, does it have to be a planet like Kashyyyk, like Mike picked, or can it just be like a universe or a fictional universe?
Like the MCU, DC, like a show, anything.
Gotcha. Probably Destiny.
Oh,
Destiny the game. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love that game. They got fucking tattoo of it.
Oh, that's cool.
Main. Huge into just that sort of sci-fi space fantasy. Where this one's based off just classic, not really classic RPG tropes, but you got warlocks who are the mages, hunters who are the rogues, titans are the warriors. Cool alien shit going on, space magic.
Yeah.
So I'd say that'd be it for me.
Okay.
Perfect.
I was having a hard time thinking about it, but then I really just stopped and it came to me automatically. Based off one of my favorite movies as a kid, I'd live in Halloween Town because I'm a big horror fan. I've always loved Halloween. And I just always felt like a fish out of water around my peers, never really fitting in with people. So living in a place like that, I would totally I would live there forever if I could.
Yeah, that's
Very
fair.
cool.
It's awesome. So I have the honor of asking the last question. Every single person we've spoken to has actually said that it is the most important question.
Okay.
What is your favorite color?
Red.
Blue.
Green.
All
There you
right.
go. Perfect.
So as Glory said, that's all the questions we have today. Is there anything that you guys would like to plug?
Mike?
Well, I just want to say thank you so much for having us. We are quiet, and There's No Escape comes out on February 11th, and you can pre-save it in a couple days. Well, actually, this hasn't aired yet, but February 11th. Just hit the link in our bio. Listen to wherever you get music. We hope you like it.
All right. Oh, well, thank you for now. This guy's been quiet, and we have been the Good Noise Podcast.